Hello, everybody. Tim Hughes here. I'm the CEO and co-founder of DLA Ignite. With me today, I've got Sandra, and we're going to talk about Web 3.0. I'm having to read this because blockchain and NFTs.
Yep.
I've had to look them all up.
Where do we start?
So Sandra, before we get started, where can people find you?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Where can people find you?
People can find me on Twitter at Sandra_TLIBE, and on LinkedIn, Sandra H, of course, and on the Zilliqa platform. Reach out and.
So you're just about starting. Have you started, or you're just about to start a new job?
No, I have. I've actually been in this position for a week and a week and 4 days now.
4 days.
So.
Wow.
Yeah, very, very precise, but it's really exciting to be shaping the future of NFTs and the metaverse in general. So I'm excited.
We live in. I was talking to someone earlier today who was saying people seem to focus so much on the negatives.
Yeah.
But there's so much positives. I mean, we live in a world today where there's so much opportunity. I mean, you're a great example. Here's somebody who lives and works in Beirut, but also lives and works in Australia as well.
Yeah, and in Singapore now with Zilliqa. So the remote world is massive, and what you said is actually very true, because the thing with NFTs and blockchain in general is that it's opened this entire new market and industry for artists that prior didn't have access to monetizing their art or their work. So it's a very interesting space to be in, and definitely one to grow. Have you had many experience with NFTs or?
No, not yet. No, not at all. I think we're members of the Royal Academy here in London, and I'm waiting for them to do something on NFTs. Maybe soon. We still got the Hockney exhibition. Maybe there's a summer exhibition coming up soon, so maybe there'll be some NFTs there, because they do try and be a little bit up to date. Even though
I know someone you can reach out to that will be happy
that's
to
great. So anyway, let's get into this discussion, because we've banked about loads and loads of things. Web 3.0, blockchain, NFTs. So let's start at the beginning. So what is Web 3.0, but what is Web 2.0 and what is Web 3.0? What's the difference?
All right, I guess the best way to say it, and I don't want to get too technical, because I guess the more technical words I use, the more people will need to jump on their phones and start using Google, and we don't want that happening. So the best way to say it is Web 2 is what we have now, right? What we are currently living, and it's our everyday day-to-day life. And Web 3 is actually a concept that was proposed at the end of the last century, and its major focus is on semantic web. So it's to say it simply, it's where computers and humans pretty much have a common language where we can both understand it.
So I'm cheating, because I've got one of your articles here on my left-hand side, and you talk about Web 3.0 being a realization that we have to move forward, because even though we see the web as it is today, which is a graphical user interface, I remember text-based computers, VT220 and things like that.
Yeah.
But we've made leaps forward. So I'm going to read your article, which is 3D graphics, artificial intelligence, ubiquity, which is making the internet accessible to everyone, anywhere, anytime, and the semantic web. And the semantic web is, from what I understand, to do with blockchain.
Yeah, exactly. So Web3 is the architecture which doesn't exist without decentralization of control, and decentralization comes through with the blockchain. So the emergence of blockchain in general was the piece of the puzzle for Web3 that put it together, because with the blockchain it allowed us to create systems which run on their own. So on a protocol agreed before the launch. So that means you have this new layer of web where it's decentralized. you don't have to give up control of your data, where all your data just belongs to you. So you're in charge of, you know, what you're putting out there and what you're getting back, which, you know, if you really think about it, it does open all these new worlds, because now we can actually merge the physical world with the digital world, which is where the metaverse comes into play, you know. So it is very exciting, and I'm sure at some point you have played around with a Web3 kind of platform, you know, whether you've checked out crypto, whether you've even checked out the Zilliqa website. So you have, in a way, touched the new emerging kind of layer of the internet.
Yeah, I'm sure, and I want to talk about blockchain, but before that, you've got an interesting, you know, I'm always interested in people's stories, and the way that you got involved in crypto, which is that you were doing some work involved in marketing, and then someone said, "Can I pay you in Bitcoin?"
Yeah, 100%. So actually, I owe this person a big thank you, really, because they kind of changed the course of my life. What happened was, I was back then I was working as a designer, and I did a freelance job. And then one day I just get an email, and the gentleman said to me, you know, would you like me to pay you in Bitcoin, or do you want me to, you know, transfer your money? And for a second there, I was like, what is Bitcoin? What is he talking about? I didn't really understand what was happening. So I kind of took a couple of days. I did my research, and I remember I just sent him an email, and I said, you know, pay me in Bitcoin, please. I opened a wallet, you know, did the steps. Back then it wasn't as easy as it is now. You know, there was a lot involved. And then I kind of just started more and more kind of introducing myself to this emerging tech. But, you know, before anyone thinks, a lot of the bad decisions. So, you know, I don't hold the Bitcoin that he sent me anymore.
Right.
Which is, you know, if you watch the market and all of that, I guess it just changed the course of my life. And then bad decisions when it came to markets, kind of, yeah.
So what is blockchain? Explain that to say you were explaining that to my mother, who's 83.
Blockchain is the decentralized web. You know, you're in control of your data. You know, you can be more transparent. There's so much technologies that come into it, and then there's also the big factor of it, which is the blockchain platforms, which allow cryptocurrencies on it. So that also streamlines how payments are made across the internet. You know, it really depends. I mean, I can dive in so deep, and I can just give you like a generic kind of overview, but that is what blockchain is. It's just the decentralization of the web. And
because I heard of a use, which was that, you know, when you apply for a job, and they'll say, okay, you've got your CV, okay, these are the certificates you've got. You went to this university, or you got the Chartered Management Institute or something like that. And how do you validate that? And I understand there's a company that allows you to put your qualifications on the blockchain, and it automatically checks it and validates it with the authority of the people that gave the certificates. And what you're able to do, so when you go for a job, you can say, these are my certificates, here's access to my blockchain of all my qualifications. You can see that I've got all these qualifications. It's just a very simple example of everyday life of how the blockchain can actually be used for us to save time. Do you agree?
100%. 100%. I mean, authentication plays a very big part in the blockchain, and this is why a lot of people are using it now. Because, you know, once the way it works is that blockchain stores data in blocks that are chained together. And when new data enters, it's entered as a new block. And for you to be able to change the other block, you know, you can't, in a sense. So this is why it's good. I mean, if I was to say in the future, and what you'll see is there'll be a lot of certificate of authentications coming out, where, you know, if you were to graduate from university, for example, they can have that on the blockchain, and, you know, you can carry it around in your digital wallet or as an NFT, and you know, no one can play around with it, no one can change it, no one can take it away from you. So imagine a world where LinkedIn, you know, and everyone has like an NFT or authentication tag next to what they've actually done. And yeah, so that is one of the big factors of blockchain, and why a lot of people are embracing it, because it does take away the corruption aspect of it, even though when people talk about crypto, they do talk a lot about money laundering or corruption and all of that. But if you actually strip all of that out and go down to the essence of it, I personally believe anyways that it can do more good than harm.
And what you were saying about Web 3.0, Web 3.0 is a place that allows you to have, so like we now have URLs for web pages. What you'll have, correct me if I'm wrong, I could well be, is that you're going to have the equivalent of blockchain URLs, and that's one of the reasons why we need Web 3.0.
Well, the thing is that actually you can buy one of your own today if you want. I can walk you through it, and that would be something fun to do, actually.
Okay, so what are we going to do?
We can buy your own Web3 domain. How about that?
What should we do that?
All right, perfect. All right, well, I'll tell you how to do it. Go to www.unstoppable.
Do you want to share your screen, or shall I share mine?
No, we'll do it on yours. It's something exciting, so why not do that? Do it that way. So www.
Hold on a moment. Let me get a free tab.
This is very exciting, because now once you actually have this domain, you can use it as your wallet address too in the future.
Can you see that?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so
www.unstoppabledomains.com. Is there a way I can send you the link? Yep. Great, there it is, blockchain domains. If you click on, just type in whatever you'd like. So what name would you like to put in? Actually, can you go back for a second, please? Do you mind just going back for a second?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, just if you click on .zil up top, so then we can both be members of the Zilliqa community.
.zil?
Yeah, there.
Yeah,
is that clickable?
It's it's not clickable.
It's not clickable. Okay, well then just put in then any name you'd like. So let me see if I put my name and click search.
So Timothy Hughes.
Okay, so you need to include you need to include .zil at the end. So then just put .zil. .zil, Z-I-L, yeah. And then search. Yeah, there it is. So for $20, you never have to pay again. This will be yours. You can also use it as your wallet address. You can set up your own website that can never be taken down. And you can right now purchase it by clicking add to cart.
Okay, I'll do it later because otherwise you'll see my credit card details as I put them in.
Yeah, we don't want that.
What is it? What is it there that I've just set up? Or when I buy it, someone will probably nick it off me as I'm talking now. Please don't nick it off me.
So what do you call it? Blockchain domains, are domains that are privately owned by you. So you actually it's self-custody.
Right.
And at the same time, you can use it as your personal wallet address. So usually when you have a wallet address, it will create a number that you would need to use for sending and receiving, which would be, for example, Z46QQ, just a bunch of numbers. And with this you can actually use it as the for your personal wallet. So then I can say to you, Tim, can you send me 20 zils to, for example, Sandra.zil? I don't need to give you the big number anymore. So it replaces cryptocurrency addresses with readable names. It's censorship resistant, so no one can take down your website. You are its sole owner, and it's only controlled by you. And you can use it for payments. So there are a lot of benefits to it, really, if you were to think about it.
So, so in terms of crypto, so give us an overview about Bitcoin and what cryptocurrency is, because all we hear on the news is the bad stuff. It's the currency of drug dealing and things like that. So what is it?
I mean, really, the news kind of isn't all currency kind of can be used for drug dealing if we really want to get down to it.
I actually think most currency, normal, if the people down the road who from us who constantly buy dope, they're doing it with paper money.
Yeah. Kind of like, I mean, yeah, if people can get as creative as they want. Okay, so cryptocurrency is pretty much just a form of payment that can be exchanged online for goods and services. So a lot of companies issue their own currencies known as tokens. So for example, from Zilliqa. And these can be traded and used for goods and services. It's kind of like the best way I say it is, when people go to the casino and they take their money and then they exchange it for chips to bet on tables and stuff. So it's pretty much the same approach, just platform specific and token specific to the blockchain you want to be interacting with.
Okay.
So you have a whole bunch of them. There's Ethereum, there's Zilliqa, there's Bitcoin, there's got from top of my mind now that there's so many, but yeah.
Yeah. So what is so building this up, Web 3.0 blockchain? What is an NFT?
Okay, an NFT. God, we are covering so much ground today. An NFT is a non-fungible token, which means it's a token that cannot be copied. It comes attached to a hash, and if you have it, then you are the sole owner of it unless you exchange it or transfer it to someone else. So that's different.
So you've got art behind you on the wall.
Yeah.
So in a way, what we could do is that we could turn one of those pieces of art into an NFT, and in effect, what it then is a digital. So I'm just assuming that art behind you is unique. What we're able to do is basically change that into a digital piece of artwork.
Well, one thing we can do is, it can be redone digitally and minted and then sold as an NFT. Or one thing you can do as well, which is you can connect the two worlds together, which is having the physical piece of artwork, but then having its art provenance as authenticated NFT online. So this physical artwork that's behind me, whichever one, I can have its certificate of authentication minted as an NFT and then have it attached to it. So you can connect both worlds together.
So why is it that I can't just take, if I was selling an NFT, why can't I just say, well, there's only one of them now, and then next week I say, well, there's now 2,000?
You mean if you were to mint it and then change your mind?
If I was an artist, why can't I just say this week there's only one, and then next week there's 2,000 of them? Because if it's digital, we produce it.
No, well, usually to do that, it's attached to a smart contract, so you can't actually change the smart contract halfway through. Right. You'd have to redo, remint again and do that, but there would be no value in doing that, so you're better off just creating another piece of work and from the get-go issuing as many editions of it as you'd like.
Okay, because that's always the argument that I always read about NFTs. Is the fact that that if you buy something, it's the rarity, and then what someone can do is produce 2,000 of them. Whereas, even still in the physical art world, when I go to the Royal Academy in London and I go to the summer exhibition, there will be pieces of art there, and it will be a print. Yeah. And they'll say we'll do 200 of them, and it then depends. The summer exhibition is where they sell things directly to the public, and you'll see dots to see how many they've actually sold. But just because it's just the same in the physical art world, you could say there's 200 and then turn around and say, well, actually, I'm now going to print another 500.
Yeah, well, 100%. And, that's the thing. Since you're an art fan, any art fan would know that the importance of art, or what makes people love art, is the scarcity of it, how valuable a piece is and how limited it is. So, let's take, for example, the Mona Lisa or Caravaggio or whatever one who have many editions printed. it's not the same as owning the original Mona Lisa and having it in your house. You know, sure, I can look at it, but it's not the same as owning the first Mona Lisa that is in a museum and having it in your bedroom or in your living room. And it's the same with digital art too. You know, it's still the same concept. But the nice thing about it when it comes to NFTs is that it opens the doors for artists to, within the contract, the smart contract, have loyalties continuously paid to them. So if this piece of artwork, for example, if I did a piece of artwork, I minted it, and then you bought it, in the smart contract, I can put, you know, that if you were to sell it or if you were to transfer it, I will get continuous royalty for it. And, you know, that's something that doesn't happen, or it does, but it's not probably followed through as much in the physical world that we're living in. So you can definitely see the added value from an artist's perspective when it comes to their hard work and NFTs.
And I think also what it does is that if you think about, to become an established artist takes lots of time and effort.
100%, yeah.
And I think we live in this punk world of what the internet does is that, you know, I was 12 years old in 1977. And when the Clash and bands like that, basically, it meant that you didn't actually need to have a musical ability, you just needed to have passion. Mm-hmm. And what you could do is you use that to create things, which is what the punk movement did. It created music, whether you like it or not. It created something. And what artists are now in a position, they don't need to be world famous. They can actually sell stuff online, on the internet, through social media, and they can do that straight away. And it gives them an ability to accelerate and sell stuff.
100%. No, 100%. And, you know, I think you hit the nail on the head when with everything you've said. And that's another beautiful thing about it is that you can be from any kind of, you can be in any country, you can be in any city, and you can access these platforms. And suddenly you're just open to all of these new collectors online who, you know, would be interested in your art. And then it just comes down to, you know, toning your skill and building your community. Community plays a very big part when it comes to artists, not only online, but in general. You know, we have artists now who belong to galleries because they have a big list of collectors. So this has kind of shifted now to allow the digital artist to, you know, build his own community and you know, engage with it in a way that they can share creativity, you know, they can share more of their work with them. And it just creates like a nice feedback loop of you as the creator and the receiver on the other end. Because if I'm going to invest in you, then obviously I like your art and I want to continue pushing you and supporting you. Yeah, so it is a new world that's very exciting. And you've not, I don't know how, if you've jumped on any NFT sites recently, but you can definitely tell that there's a lot of art with a lot of different niche and a lot of kind of styles that are being put out there. So it has opened a new medium of.
Yeah, I spent an afternoon looking at NFTs and looking into it, and it's a really interesting movement. There's a movement starting in it, and it's really interesting to. And of course, you know, with any movement, there's going to be some right and wrong directions, but you can see that there is this evolution, certainly within art, taking place through NFTs.
100%. And, you know, the art world has always not been very accepting of new movements that happen. Maybe there's sometimes been some, you know, like resistance, only because the art world sometimes can be set in its way, especially established artists. So, you know, suddenly now there's these young millennials who are coming in and selling pieces of artwork for millions and millions of dollars. And, you know, you get one side that's saying, well, why is this happening? And then you get the other side saying, thank God this is finally happening. Yes. So it becomes just a matter of balancing both, I guess, what's that word I'm looking for? I can't think of the word, but you know what I mean. Just balancing both of the approaches to entering into the NFT marketplace.
Sandra, it's been fantastic. Thank you so much for coming on and explaining.
Thank you, Tim.
In such a in an easy way that people like me can understand. Remind people where they can get hold of you.
Sure, definitely. So they can find me on Twitter at Sandra_TLIBE and LinkedIn, Sandra H. But I'm sure if they follow you, then there can be a quick search and I'll pop up somewhere on
I would think so. And you know, people can find this, can replay this video, and there's always will be a link to you anyway. But thank you so much for coming on. And
no, thank you for your time.
It's been great. And I need to go and sort that my domain.
Yeah, enjoy it. Let me know how it goes with it.
Congratulations with your new role. And
thank you so much.
Catch up with you soon. Thank you.
Bye.